Where's Tim, you may ask? There he is.
Coming into thunderous applause.
Walking on. A walk-on intro. Oof.
I'm standing and you're sitting.
I am, and we're the same height, so that gives you an idea of how tall I am.
No. It's because I've got a bad back.
That's
and I deserve it. Oh, no, we've still got problems with that camera, have we? So, apologies for all the little hiccups we've had this morning, but here we are live.
Snafus.
So if you are on the live feed on YouTube, you'll be able to send us some questions, some comments. We'll do our best to get through some of them.
Yes.
But may I start with this one from John Joseph.
Okay.
Now, John has written it. There's somewhat of a, essay really. He says the Thai government will manipulate the test results. Negative tests will be called positive, which will require tourists to stay a full 14 days in quarantine at the tourist expense. They won't do it to major Western countries, but it will be a random and target. So other so-called developing countries like Laos, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, Burma, India, and then it will become a debt trap. Oof. So conspiracy theory. Good on you, John. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I don't think the government are going to be going down to the technicians working at the PCR tests and directing them to produce a positive result. But good luck to you.
Yeah, I've got a comment here from Christian who says, Jay, I'm in shock. You forgot to talk about coffee culture. Do you mean coffee culture mugs and coffee culture coffee from all across Thailand? You can actually taste the coffee now. They come in small packs in these beautiful small boxes, and then you can taste them and then
This is what Christian was talking about?
Yeah, I think this
coffee
is
culture.
Yeah, why don't you open it?
Well, it's a great idea, Jay.
Yeah.
This is a taster pack and it's got little sachets inside, so you can decide which one you
flavors?
like.
Yeah, that's right. Arabica, Robusta, organic, green tea, whatever you like. Coffee culture. So be shocked no more.
Thanks for asking. Dale McKinney says, it doesn't sound to me like Thailand is open for business. Well, this whole issue about opening, I mean, November the 1st was a sort of the continuance of what's been happening over the past year.
Yeah.
Thailand is more open than it was. It's still got quite a way to go. There are problems with the Thailand pass, we know that, but obviously things are going to get better over the next few days, the next few weeks and months. But we hear what you're saying, Dale. Persist.
Right. Moving on. Shane O. Traveller says, teething issues for the opening of Thailand. Yes, Shane. So the Thailand pass was having a lot of issues yesterday. A lot of people were getting error messages. So teething issues indeed. Also, Shane O. Traveller is actually currently live. He's watching us live. Where am I?
What do we do now?
We're in the Matrix.
So, thank you, Shano. Look, as far as these little snafus at the moment, they're going to be people who are wallowing in the failure of the tourism department or the immigration department or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in making this mistake. But yeah, enjoy your time, enjoy their discomfort. I'm sure they're doing their best to try and get things fixed up as soon as they can. Jackie Motopass says they will die of hunger if they ask tourists for vaccination and tests. We hear what you're saying, Jackie. Jackie could be a lady or a guy.
Could be, yeah.
So, I don't think anybody's going to be dying of hunger. But in the meantime, just be patient.
Right. I have a comment here from Carlos Cortez who says, this is Carlos from New York City. What will happen to me if I test positive? I go to an approved hotel. The next day the government will inform me that, I'm positive. Will the Thai government then ship me back to New York? Carlos, highly unlikely. You will have to do a quarantine.
Philip Spoon is on our live feed and says, Tim, where do you buy your shirts? I want to make sure I avoid it. Lima Bravo says, question for Big Bear. Is that you? How's the grooming coming along? Little Cub sure talks back a lot, so I take it not so well. Okay,
I'm a bit confused.
we don't get a chance to pre-read these. Mike says, any B-roll of mad dash airport arrivals? Well, actually, I did turn my camera on last night when I was travelling from Phuket to Suvarnabhumi. And, of course, we are live and we haven't been able to get that footage. But, yeah, there was some. Look, I mean, about 7,000 people arrived at Suvarnabhumi Airport yesterday.
Yep.
That's what we know. This dribble is going to turn into, well, a slightly faster running tap. And will there be a flood of tourists and travellers at some stage? We don't know. We're as eager to see what happens as you are. Let's hope it does more people start arriving.
Sure, yep. I've got a comment here from John Whitbread who says, I use a wheelchair. Arranging for accessible ASQ room for one night is expensive and a barrier. Additionally, is the ASQ hotel going to transport me the same as others? I see no accessibility info. John, again, ASQ room, yes, they are expensive. In terms of whether they'll be able to transport you, unless you need special treatment, I'm not sure. You're going to have to check with your hotel. However, I'd just like to let you know, like Thailand in general is not very accessible or friendly to people in wheelchairs. We do have some few facilities in certain modern buildings and maybe the BTS areas. However, generally, if you want to travel around, it's not very accessible.
You try walking down the footpaths with your own 2 feet, let alone trying to get around on a wheelchair.
Yeah, that's right.
Lewis says, I'm ready to book my flight to Thailand and visit for the first time. However, I'm waiting to see how the opening goes before I book anything. I think a lot of people are in your shoes. Lewis, thank you for your comment.
That's right. I've got a comment here from Shorty who says, I like your videos. May I please request a video featuring troll comments and your humorous responses? I can't wait to hear Jai's snooty responses and Tim's raw and deliberate beratements. Yet Tim does love his beratements, I'm not going to lie. But Shorty, thank you for the suggestion. We did think of coming up with a show, something similar to Mean Tweets from Jimmy Kimmel. So, yeah, we do get a lot of trolls, so that will be a dedicated episode just to the troll comments. Would be fun. I think a lot of people would enjoy that.
There's no shortage of them. Peter E. says, Australian government today, reconsider your need to travel to Thailand, official Smart Traveller website. Well, Peter, we're not sure if that's true, but thank you for sending it to us. It sort of sounds unlikely, seeing that the Australian government have sort of semi-reopened their borders and Thailand is encouraging people to come here, but thank you for that. Lawyers, Guns and Money says PCR test on arrival for vaxxed and already tested has zero value given how long it takes to test positive after exposure. Thank you, Lawyers, Guns and Money.
Yes. Right. Some more comments from Online Teacher Dude, who says, why not celebrate the positives of what is happening instead of focusing on the problems? Thailand has come a long way compared to other countries. Online Teacher Dude, actually, yes, I would suggest you to watch Good Morning Thailand today. We did briefly talk about it, that, yes, Thailand is one of the leading countries in Asia to start the reopening, to have Sandbox programs, and now, you know, we're open to more countries than probably other countries as well. So, you know, living expats in Thailand, we're very proud that Thailand is taking steps to reopen, try to revive the economy, try to help the people who are living in the country, and as well as us. It's good for everyone. We hope that you know, COVID doesn't surge again. We don't have other waves. So here in the office, we support the reopening, and we're hoping that it goes well.
But it would be incumbent upon us to report things when they go badly as well. That's what we're here to do. But we try and balance it with a bit of good and bad news from time to time. Who else have we got here? Tonati says, let's go Brandon.
Let's go Brandon.
A few bros in the comment section wanting to come to Thailand together. Good luck. Alan says, waiting on the e-visa, then the Thailand pass. Maybe people would be interested in that process. Keep up the good work. Can't wait to get back to Pattaya. Steve Austin, who is extremely formal, says, Mr. Newton.
Oof, the respect.
Could you offer some clarity? Probably not before we go any further. The time period of each transit transfer operation shall not exceed 12 hours. International flights with transit transfer shall be permitted. Well, I mean, I think what he's talking about is if you are coming from a country that's on the list of 63 low risk countries,
yes,
you can do a transit through an airport.
Yes. To
come to Thailand, as long as it's not longer than 12 hours.
Yes.
I think that's about all I need to say about that.
Yes. You are allowed to transit in Bangkok airport if you're coming from a low-risk country. Yes.
So if you type, what have I done wrong? Jason's pointing at me. This camera's gone bad?
Hello. Yes, we're still live. Look at the camera. We've been told by our cameraman.
Oh, well, I was looking at the camera. It's his
me.
problem. It's his
me.
fault.
I apologize. There are 3 cameras here, but I keep looking at the wrong
Jason's
camera.
back after 3 days away. And he thinks
After
he
5
owns-
days. Ridiculous.
Thinks he owns the place.
Yeah, he's telling me what to do now. He's turned off the other cameras and telling me to focus only on one. How dare you, Jason?
So if you type in the Thaiger into Google along with fine print, the Thaiger fine print, Stephen, you'll see some fine print which does address this transit issue, which will give a much more accurate answer than I just gave.
Yes.
So the Thaiger fine print, it's an article talking about some of the fine print about the Thailand pass, so check that out. It gives you a much better answer.
Right. Jeff Havel has a comment here for me. He says,
Are you looking at the camera?
I am looking
Jason
at the
said
camera.
look at the
I
camera.
am. A lot of people get really annoyed when I don't look at the camera. They're going to let me know in the comments today. They're going to be like, Jay, look at the bloody camera.
No,
Anyways.
they'll say look at the camera. They're not going to put expletives in there.
Of course not. Our audience never. Jeff Havel says, Jay, if you get a lot of comments about your grammatical errors, that means a lot of people are watching your show. Good job. I hope to see a lot more errors. Okay.
What's his name?
Jeff Havel.
Havel. That's an interesting name.
Yeah, the person that does not make a mistake is a person that does not do anything. Firstly, Jeff, thank you for the positive comment and thank you for the love. However, I hope I don't make a lot of errors. I try not to. I will try to get better and better. However, I get your point. Thank you for being very supportive. Appreciate it.
I'm buying a car called a Havel.
Oh, a Haval, isn't it?
Haval. Haval. Haval.
Yes.
I'm waiting. They've got a new model coming out called the Haval H6S.
Is that the new electronic half a hybrid car?
Hybrid.
It looks really impressive.
Electric car.
It's an SUV, isn't it?
It's a mid-sized SUV. They're built in China and then they're put together here in Thailand to avoid the import tax. And they're really, really good cars.
Nice.
Love driving them. Huge sunroof, but they've got a new model coming out next year.
Good on ya.
I put in a pre-order for one. So Steve Austin comes back and says, it takes 17 plus hours in transit, so do we have to quarantine? Oh, geez, Stephen, you're asking questions that I'm not really qualified to answer. So if you've got a transit time longer than 12 hours, well, it appears that you're not going to meet the requirements of the Thai government. I would address that to your embassy. And depending on the day and depending on the person you speak to at your embassy and depending on the embassy, you might get entirely different answers. So whatever answer you get in your favour, get it in writing. That's about all I can recommend. I really can't address specific comments like that. But good luck to you. I hope you get here.
Right. My last comment for today is from Bear Studios, who says, watched this channel for a fair amount of time earlier this year. He's talking about Good Morning Thailand, I'm guessing. To be honest, it's just another source of negative personal opinions, and now even more clearly, battle for control of the news content. It used to be fairly professional and to the point. This is long gone and is now a presenter's chat show. Boring. Bear Studios, I would just like to let you know you're talking about a chat show while watching a chat show and then complaining that it's a chat show. Perhaps read or understand what you're watching before you try to comment? I'm a bit confused.
We've got 2 news programs. One's called Thailand News Today and one's called Thailand Top Stories. On the thumbnails, one's got a big blue or dark blue stripe and the other one's got a black stripe. Mm-hmm. There's another 2 programs, Good Morning Thailand, which has got a yellow stripe, and Tiger Bites, which are more commentary-based, and they're the shows that Jay and I do. And from next week,
yes,
we're going to have extra people.
That's right.
There's going to be 3 here, so you'll have even more to complain about because there's going to be more commentary. So sorry about that. If you're watching Tiger Bites or Good Morning Thailand, you might get a few opinions.
Yes. Right. I've done with my comments. I'm going to the live comments now. I've got a comment from MetTech who says, spelling Jai or J? It is Jayj.
That's not even your name.
That is not. So, quick story there. In Thailand, almost everyone has a nickname. I do not, since I'm not born in Thailand. I'm originally from India. However, people find it quite difficult to say my name here, even though it's just 2 syllables. But so people call me Jay.
I call him other things during the day. Aging
Nasty things.
I asked the other day on Good Morning Thailand about creating single-family homes as condos. Any comment on that possibility? Creating single-family homes as condos. I have no idea what you're talking about, Aging. Sorry. Could you give me some more information and I'll throw some ideas around? Tonati says, I agree with previous comment. Mistakes are going to happen. Do not let the mistakes get you down. Keep getting better. Are they talking about us or the Thailand pass? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Same, but different?
Off you go.
Right, I have 0 comments.
Oh, okay. Mike says, I think transit time is wait time at foreign airport hub connecting for your Thai destination flight. Yes, that's correct. So we're talking about 12 hours at a international airport on your way to Thailand. And the government's saying that as long as your wait isn't more than 12 hours, they'll allow you to fly through that transit.
Right.
And not have to quarantine.
Yeah,
Except to quarantine for 1 day.
Yep. The Wu-Tang Life says, hope you don't get a positive test on arrival. A 2-week vacation COVID jail will be waiting if you do. Good luck. Well, Wu-Tang, unfortunately, if you do test positive, you need to be aware that that might be possible. So calling it a jail while being aware might not be the right term. But yes, unfortunately, if you do get positive, you're going to have to quarantine.
So Rachel says, are you Thai, Jay? I think you just answered that.
No, Rachel, I am not Thai. I was born in India, but I've lived in Thailand for about 20 plus years.
You're
so
almost Thai.
I'm more Thai than anything else.
What's your name then? Well, his name is Sitting Bull.
Yes.
But Jay's much easier to say. Bad boy number 1 says, when was the last time you rang the bell?
What bell? I'm so confused.
Peter E says, Tim, smart traveller took Thailand off the do not travel list, now reconsider list. Also affects cost of travel insurance. Thanks, Peter E. Obviously, people coming from Australia, you do need to consider the situation of returning to the Thai, from Thailand back to Australia.
Yep.
There's a few things you obviously need to check, according to Peter E. But we hope you can get here eventually. I've got lots and lots of Australian friends that are going to come.
You're Australian. What do you mean?
No, that they're going to come and stay in Fortress Newton.
Oh, I see.
Over the next 6 months, we're going to be very
Newton
busy.
Del Mar.
Newton Del Mar, as we call it, yes.
All right, I've got Alex Ty joins us, and he says, gentlemen, your show is very professional, except, of course, when you use open mouth thumbnails. Remember, I addressed this comment a couple of days ago where we go, okay, Alex, I get your point. We have reduced them, if you notice. So, hey, come on. I'm slowly transitioning into improving our thumbnail game. So thank you for the comment, and stay tuned to check out our thumbnail today.
Well, the thing about thumbnails, people say, oh, it's clickbait.
Yeah.
If you sort of use, funny pictures or... Yes, we want you to click on it. We apologise for that, but this is a business at the end of the day. Hopefully you get to know us and we're fairly honest and real. We're not really clickbaiting. We're just encouraging you to click on the link.
Yes.
We've got Shano Travellers back. Sitting Bull or Laughing Dragons?
Laughing Dragons is way better. But Tim would like to refer to me as a sitting bull.
Oh, Lima has talked about the bell. He says, barbell for F's sake.
What barbell?
We're talking about the bells.
What bells?
Somebody's talking
Lima,
about...
I think you're having a conversation with yourself. I think we're missing some context or some pre-required information on what the whole bells are about, but cool.
Ring the bell and pay all the drinks.
Ring the bell to... Oh, bar bells, like a bell in a bar.
Oh, good gosh.
Tim would know about this. So when you go to a bar and you ring the bell, everybody gets a drink.
I don't know anything about
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Tonati says, thanks for the shout out. I will probably come to Thailand in December for business and pleasure. I hope to get a lot of pleasure. Good luck to you.
Okay,
When
all right.
the demand meets the needs, usually there is some happy resolution.
All right, I'm going to call it an end over there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you do have any comments or feedbacks from today's episode, or you would like to ask us,
This
what's that?
12-hour quarantine thing.
Okay.
Psychedelic says...
Psychedelic.
Yeah, no, it's not an L. Psychedelic... Oh, dear. Does the 12-hour transit time include Thailand airports, Bangkok, Samui? No. If you are transiting in Bangkok or Phuket to go to another airport, you'll have to stay for your first night in Bangkok or Phuket.
Not while transiting.
Well, no, but the way it reads at the moment, you will have to, when you arrive, you'll have to stay in that arrival destination until you get your... I've probably opened a whole can of worms here.
Yes.
Speak to your airline. If your airline says you could
Yeah.
transit through the airport, then I suppose you
the
can.
fact that you guys
I
think
don't
we
think you
have
can.
airline information, I mean, as much as I have Thai Airways on speed dial.
Have you named the plant, the green plant?
Yes. Tabitha.
That's right, we did call it Tabitha. From where do we get the name Tabitha?
I have no idea.
From the show
Oh,
Bewitched.
the Bewitched, right. We spoke
Yes.
about it. We had a whole conversation. I've never watched Bewitched.
You're getting a whole education of 1960s US sitcoms.
Yes.
Gilligan's Island, Hogan's Heroes, Bewitched.
I've heard of
Name your
Bewitched at least. At least I've heard of Bewitched.
I liked Uncle Arthur. I think it was Uncle Arthur? Paul Lind. Amazing actor.
Yeah. I had a really good question. I think somebody deleted it.
Mike says, most important for me, are durians still available? Let me tell you,
Oh,
when you
yes.
step off the plane anywhere in Thailand, you get that magic waft of rotting durian anywhere in Thailand, and we wouldn't be without it.
That's right. Yep. Okay, I'm going to call it quits there. Otherwise, we're going to go on forever and ever.
Anyone know how much spending
He's
money...
clearly not listening to me.
Bad Boy said, and he is a bad boy, anyone know how much spending money I'll need for 2 weeks in Pattaya? Well, it depends what you do, doesn't it? If you want to go swimming each day, probably wouldn't recommend that many of the Pattaya beaches. It's probably not going to cost you a lot. If you want to go out each night, well, you won't be spending much on alcohol at the moment, but there may be other pleasures awaiting, and they may indeed cost you money.
Right. Okay, that's it. Cut the streams. Right, guys, please, now, if you have any comments or feedback, Tim, please, please leave them in the comment section below. Yes. Oh, okay, too soon. Anyways, yes, we have to call it quits because we've got to do our other show. Anyways, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you joining us for the live stream. If you've enjoyed this, we hope that we can do more live streams because I feel like we can connect with you better. I think most people do enjoy the live stream a lot more. We've got a lot of comments from it. But yes, thank you for the support. Thank you for supporting us always. You know, we've come to Bangkok. We really appreciate everything you guys do for us, whether that is leaving comments that are critical, that are helpful, that are supportive. We read all your comments. So thank you so much for always watching the Thaiger and always supporting us. From me, Tim, Shai, and Jason here at the studio, have a great Tuesday, and we will see you tomorrow.